Welcome back, my fellow duplicants, to Oxygen Not Included. This is episode 5 and getting started in Oxygen Not Included. So, this is the intro series of basically how to play Oxygen Not Included. We're just doing a rough and tumble playthrough of the game here, trying to figure out what all we need to do in a fairly logical order here in order to have a nice stable base. And we've kind of already done the first 100 cycles, but there's a few more things that we should really take care of before the base is fully stable. But then again, when you really do play Oxygen Not Included, you basically just keep playing forever. Or until you die. Or until they update the game enough to the point where you just start over again. Considering the game is not quite out yet. You can see the development build up there. It's a random string of numbers that really doesn't mean anything. This is Quality of Life 1, so the Quality of Life 2 is the next update that'll happen here. And that'll probably be in February. It is the great winter storm of 2019 here in the Americas, and it is quite snowy outside, so thus the interesting look, and it's also cold. So the things I want to tap into here today is going to be the natural gas geyser over here. I want to get into that. I want to get some power out of it because I do need power from my base. I also could use a little bit of a little extra water out of that. That wouldn't be that bad. The other thing is we do have a source of water up here from this cool steam vent. Luckily, we were able to dig up here, and then I saw this puddle. I'm like, there's probably a steam vent up there. Boom, got it. All right, so here's the thing. We're not going to get to that today, but luckily in the last episode here, we did really reduce the amount of water we are using. So the biggest thing that we can do now is, I think, get on over here to the natural gas geyser and also prepare ourselves to deal with a lot of excess heat because this is actually kind of hot. The gas that comes out of that natural gas geyser is at 150 degrees Celsius. However, in the early game here, you can see that the temperature really isn't that bad. And that's because it's pretty much overpressurized. And then the environment just kind of soaks up the thermal energy that was there and it all just balances back out. But once you start drawing on that natural gas geyser a lot, time and time again, the temperature will go up around it. So we have to be prepared to deal with that. Let's talk about some other things. We also have some heat that's being generated right here in the middle of our base. You can see that. That's coming off of the electrolyzer. Now, there's a good chance we're going to have, there's not a good chance. There's a guaranteed chance we're going to have these spread throughout our base. So we're going to have to be able to cool those down. The other option is at one point we might just take all of these and put them into one spot and then just pump the oxygen where we need it. Or pump it into suits and just have my dupes run around in a vacuum all day long. That works too. Many different ways to kind of play the same game. So let's talk about cooling. The greatest heat sink for thermal energy that we currently have available to us in this base, in this version of the game and everything, is right here, coming off of the showers, coming off the toilets, coming off the sinks, because the outlet temperature of this sieve is at 40 degrees Celsius. So what we do is we take the inlet side here, this is the polluted water side, it comes out of the showers and everything at 40 degrees Celsius, the same temperature it goes in at. And what we can do is we can bring that over to a spot where we're going to put a heat pump. And that heat pump is going to cool what runs through it, and then it's going to dissipate that on the other side as really hot stuff. And it'll do that for a little bit of energy. So the two heat pumps that we have for us is going to be the thermal regulator, which will deal with gas, and then the thermal aquatuner, which deals with liquid. Obviously, the thermal aquatuner requires a lot more power, but it also deals with a much higher mass of material that moves through it. It's actually 10 times the material. You get 1 kilogram per tile through a gas pipe, but you get 10 kilograms per tile for a liquid. I did a video series called Flush Your Heat Away, and that would be a great thing to watch if you're going to try to set one of these up in your base. We used it to, the other video was liquid oxygen production. So we were actually using these equipments here to cool oxygen so far to the point where it actually turns into a liquid so that we can actually fuel up rockets. Way late game, but just to let you know, those are two pieces of equipment that you can use, and you can use a lot of for really special stuff inside of our base. I think the real world example of the same sort of thing, sort of, except for it doesn't actually pump stuff through it, but maybe. Might be like a Peltier heater. I actually have some of these. It'd be kind of fun to play around with them. One of the random things I purchased, but I don't know why. I take that back. I do know why, but I'm not going to tell you yet. So a good spot for this is near your loops where you got all your pipes and stuff over here. That way we don't have to convey that water a really long distance. But it does take up a lot of space, so you kind of got to be strategic about where you're going to put this. Here's the other thing. As was mentioned over here by Nem, Tudum, and some other people as well, you can cure slime lung. You basically use your dupes to suck it in. They get sick, you cure them. And it's not a game-ending sort of scenario. You're not going to die. You could die if your base runs behind and all of that stuff. But one good room that we should really have set up, even though we don't have one yet, is going to be a med bay right here. So a med bay consists of a medical bed, toilet, and a mess table. So this is a good thing to have set up in your base, you know, just because people are eventually probably going to get sick. You try not to, but it might happen. So if the worst happens, we now have basically a hospital built into our base, and we can take care of that. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right here because it seems like a good spot for it. We already got some hydrogen up there, not a big... Prevention is the best protection when it comes to dealing with germs in your base. Okay, so there's some tricks that you can use here when you actually go to set this med bay up. And that is, even though you put a toilet in there, it doesn't actually need to be plugged in. You don't have to make it actually, you know, you don't have to allow anybody to use it. Although, this one is so close by, I could probably just get away with it. Let's go ahead and build this ladder up. We're not going to go that high, but we will go there. Look at them all dig. Alright, good job, guys. So, one of the other things is when you do have a medical bay, you could run into a situation where the dupes are vomiting a lot. They get sick, they barf. It becomes a mess. So, it's probably a good idea to give them a spot where they can have an accident and it won't hurt you. So to do that, what we can do is we can use kind of a mesh tile floor, and then you can have a pump that's able to actually pick that stuff up. You also might want to keep a tile here at the end. I don't think 2 tiles. Just so that, you know, if it does happen here, it doesn't flow out and then drop down and then drop over here, drop into there, or something like that. You know, that sort of thing. That would not be nice. So in my situation, we got a med bed. We can go ahead and put one of those in there. Give ourselves a nice little mess table. Probably have a couple of those. Give ourselves a second layer where we can put some more med tables there. We'll try to tightly pack this area a little bit. Travaldo, buddy! You got yourself stuck. There's a little mess table. There's really not much of a reason why I'm spacing these out. In case you're wondering, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like... I'll tell you what, there's really no reason I couldn't make this into something a little bit more useful than a spot that I'm only going to use if I absolutely have to. So I'll put a sink here, and we can make one of these up here as well. Turner, don't you dare go through that door. You come back over here and you wash your hands. Yes, good job. There's some extra room here, so I'm gonna copy these doors and there you go. So I recently did a video on auto hatch ranching, just kind of the first of a couple that are going to be in a series. So what I want to do down here is I'm just going to set this to a hatchling, essentially. So all I do is keep baby hatches down here, and then up here I'm just gonna have that set to 7, and that's just going to be adult hatches, right? So this one, or a sage hatch, and then we can auto wrangle the excess, and we can actually bring it over to a spot where we will then either release them into the wild or just turn them into food at that point. So I can do that right over here, so it's close by. You like how we're like not even touching what we should be touching? Welcome to Brothgar gets distracted within the first few minutes of playing Oxygen Not Included. Every single time. So I'll just dig this stuff up, and then we'll take one of those and just put it down over there. And we really don't need to do anything with the eggs here. We can just leave them there. They will incubate naturally in this situation. And so what I want this set to is hatch, sage hatch, stone hatch as well would be a good one. I don't know where it is. What? What'd you do to the shine bug? Why'd you do that? That was so mean. We'll put shine bugs up here because that's right next to the phosphorus. So for phosphorite, we're all good to go. If we take a look at the room overlay, we should see that yes, we do have ourselves a medical bay. Although I probably should stack these in there a little bit better, just in case. You may want to assign your dupes to certain tables as well. I noticed Mima was assigned up here, which is actually further away than she would have to be from the food. So it was a little less efficient. We can kind of just run from here to here. Gosh, you can't get to this spot. I changed these tiles and that lost the auto-bottled stuff. Hang on. Mop that up real quick. Mop that up. Also make sure that the shine bug ends up here. There we go. Mopped all that up. That was pretty quick. And forgot about that down there. Right. There we go. Hassan's got the shine bug. Excellent. All right. So Ruby here. I built a couple more snazzy suits. We'll give them to people that are a little bit more stressed here. Ruby's going to get one. Rowan. Hey, buddy. Where you at? Travaldo. No, we can't give it to Travaldo. Who else? Harold. There you go, buddy. Probably be an okay idea to build a couple more Atmos suits just so we have them ready when we go to do something with them. So you can see we have a hatch over here on the right. It's been delivered. But that means we must be at maximum capacity or pretty close to it. Alright, so when it comes to building this sort of liquid loop thing, I gotta figure out where I'm going to have enough room for that equipment. Now, for a piece of equipment, it doesn't take that much room, but I'm going to make this big enough to where it can last me for a lot of different applications. So I got one thermal aqua tuner that I might run for water. I have another one that I might run for oil. I even have another one that I might run for supercoolant. Maybe, even though I kind of doubt that last one. The point is I have 3 potential that could maybe run through there. Thermoregulator, I am probably going to run one for hydrogen. So that's at least about 4 pieces of equipment. So that would be 8 tiles across. Now this is kind of where I use the wire thing. That's what I was talking about here, just as an idea to kind of draw things out. So that would be that wide. It's usually good to have a pipe coming in, over. So let's place this thing just here to see what it looks like. You can see the pipe goes in and out from the bottom of this piece of equipment. So it's probably a good idea to have your pipe come in, down, back, and then out that way. So we're going to make this 5 tall. So using this, I go up 5. So that gives us some sort of idea of how big of a space we're going to need there. Plus we're going to need tiles around that, so it'll be this big. And since it's going to be quite hot in there, we're probably talking about 100 degrees Celsius. We might want to double up that insulation. So we could potentially be dealing with a box that is, so that's 12 by 9. So when we get out our dig tool here, let's see if we can find a good spot for a 12 by 9 box. And I'm probably going to do some cooling for the natural gas dude that's going to come out over there. And I might even say I want to go a little bit bigger than that. So instead of 12 by 9, I might go 14 by 9. Or so I might say all of that right there is where I'm going to put this equipment. Now we will be breaking into some more nasty biomes here, but I think that's okay. Hopefully these Drecos won't get up there and try to escape. They still do have a couple of pincher pepper nuts down there, so that they should be okay. For this, though, I'm going to build a nice floor for them. I'm going to put this to a nice high priority so that I can take care of their biome and not, you know, destroy their home, because they're actually a pretty good source of stuff later on, you know. So rather than having them come out and have to kill them or make a bed for them, we could just keep them in their natural habitat. We're going to be eco-friendly today. Sort of. We're going to need a spot to get into this, so that's going to be this spot right there. I'm going to do this with a couple of mechanized doors. And I'm going to feed that some power so that we can get through that quickly. It actually works better if you have 3 doors in line with each other. So maybe rather than doing this, I kind of do... Maybe I just do one of these airlock things. Remember? We kind of already did one of these. And then I take some oxygen, deodorizers right there, and just kind of do that number. And I build that temporary spot. So this way, all of the slime lung and polluted oxygen and nasty stuff that happens in here stays inside of there for a little while. It doesn't kind of get back into my base where it causes problems. So dupes may get a little sick when they go in here to do some work, but for the most part, they should be okay. As far as how I want to dig this out, I'll dig everything around the outside, but then I'm going to try to make this 4 tiles so they dig up that. And then they'll dig this as well, and then we'll go back and we'll delete the middle row there. So similar to the strategy that I was using over here, where you just dig 4 tall, then you kind of move it and dig 4 tall and that sort of thing. So here's the thing about that critter egg. You see how there was one right here? This egg hatched all by itself inside of a storage bin, turning itself into a raw egg. Now, it's been mentioned to me a bunch of times in the comment sections that you can actually do that. So we can store a certain amount of surplus eggs here if we just didn't want them, if we didn't want to crack them over here, right? So this thing, we don't really need this thing. There is another way in the automated system where we can, on a more regular basis, crack open those eggs. But then again, if you kind of think of this in the long term, every 20 cycles or so, those eggs will crack themselves. So if you just let it play out, it'll work out. The thing is, I don't want to store eggs inside of here. But it's okay if I store them down here. Now this is actually a pretty good hatch to have around because it's wild. So once you tame your hatches, they stay tame. You can't get them untamed. They will have tame children. So somehow, some way, I still have one that's wild over there. Lucky me. Good. I'm recording the correct screen. Whoop, whoop. Just realized I'm showing off the back of my chair. Yes, I'm on a standing desk. Some people have asked. How is it today? How much more? Holy snow. It's a globe out there. We're going to dig that up. Get the dupes out in here, and they're going to start to do what they need to do. We're going to insulate the outside of this when they can. Boom. That's going to happen. Some people refer to my white balance as crazy. It is crazy. It doesn't know what to do half the time. One of these days, maybe I'll get a better webcam than the one I currently have. Look at these stupid Dracos. Look at them. They're like, oh, I see there's some construction up here. Let's come take a look. They're all just trying to escape. Seriously, I guarantee when they programmed this game, they gave Dracos like an escape mentality. Every time they see construction, they're just like, they go straight for it. Bunch of. Oh, by the way, we've maxed out the amount of hydrogen we got. I didn't set this up quite right last time. It's got to be that. And it's okay idea to do this number here so that we can actually get down to it. A lot of construction. Oh, and one of the other things that we haven't done here yet inside the base, even though now is a good, it's a fair enough time to do this. That's going to be making fire poles. So there's certain areas in the base that are now become, are defined enough to where we're not really going to change them. Kind of like this over here. So if we put a fire pole in there, the dupes can jump on that and move more quickly down it. So I don't want to put that on both sides. You actually just want to do it on one side. So they'll jump on this and go whoop, down really quickly. Oh, and I put a stupid vent there. Not that it's even needed. I could just get rid of it. You can see that temperature, yeah, it's starting to make its way around. Let's see if I can keep digging without getting into any of these biomes. Just try to like skirt between them and just dig way over this way to see what's up. You don't have to reveal a whole lot of space, you know? Okay, what I'm trying to say is you don't have to dig a whole lot of distance, right? If you just want to reveal a lot of stuff here. So I'm just gonna have them go down, or you could jump up from here onto this. All right, so I should be able to navigate over this way and kind of reveal whatever's going on back there. Rowan's got it. He's gonna have to hold his breath a lot, but we'll see what's up. I'm pretty sure I can get rid of this tile and we can still use the door. Just get up and go right through there. Get your snazzy suit on, Ruby. Right, so we have 6 Atmos suits, a couple of snazzy suits. I'm gonna take it up to 10. Make sure I build those before I accidentally use up all the copper or something and no longer have the opportunity to make more Atmos suits. You can always... It's good to have many Atmos suits, you know. I don't really understand my own logic, but that's okay, right? As long as I feel good about what I'm doing, I'm sure it will go just fine. Now, don't you dare! I see you. I see you. You just... Come on. Come on. No, no. Go down. Go down. It escaped. Drop. Gravity. Yes. Make it happen. Oh, everybody. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Marie. No. No. No, no, no. Don't be doing that stuff. Oh my gosh. Oh, stop, stop, stop. Bro, just go outside. You, Rowan, don't get to come back in. You're just trying to entrap yourself inside of a wall. You failed your safety inspection and we can no longer trust you to work here. Yeah, see, they can go through that door. See? Bloop, just like that. That's pretty handy, isn't it? That way they can get down to the storage things real quick. And if we take a look at the germs, yeah, look at that. Not even a problem at all. Matter of fact, this is a good time maybe to clear out a lot of area over there because I've got this buffer of chlorine down there. Whoa, and look at all this water I got. That's polluted water right there, just ready to be tapped. You can see my dupes. They're not getting all, they're plenty healthy. Oh, here we go. Good. Finally found a cold biome. Should be able to dig this, dig that, dig that. Dig, 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 dig. And then maybe I could just get on all the way over here and grab ourselves a wheezewort. Wait a minute, what's this up here? This game loves to hide little secrets, doesn't it? Okay, so to dig one of those things, you just kind of do one of these. So you can go down past it. Then you come on up. And then you do 3. And then you can start doing your 3x3s. So I should be able to go up there like that. And then what do I have around here? This is just igneous. So we might be able to get to this bioscanner and do something fancy in there. Might want to preserve this temperature thing that we got going on in there. So I'll do that number. Rather than that spot, I think I need to dig out this way and up. I do need a spot to stand to jump up there. I tell you what, it's just as easy to do this number. There you go, Rowan. You're much better at this. I'm going to disable this power control station for a little while. I don't think we really need it at this stage in the game. Research. Automation's always a good one to have. Healthcare is pretty good. Plastic's great. There's really no reason to stop researching good stuff. So one of the things I noticed over here when you're dealing with your dupes is you see the little crown next to them? That means they've mastered that, so you can kind of get some sort of idea of at least where they've been and where you might want to put them next. I don't have anybody that's doing art, so let's throw them down there. Build up that benefit. I have very well-rounded dupes at the moment. So this is one door that gets used a lot. For whatever reason, I have not made that one of these powered doors. I guess it doesn't really matter because I always have enough time for it, but it's starting to bug me. Alright, so here's the thing. I've got a hydrogen generator that is not being used for anything. I've got a manual generator here that isn't being used for anything. But I do have a room that is good for running generators. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this over here. Like so. I'm going to get rid of this manual wheel. I can always put that outside because all that does is just give it enough power to kick on. And I can run a hydrogen generator to this grid over here that's running on the coal generator. Because right now I got so much hydrogen, I just have nothing else to do with it, and it's almost becoming a hindrance. So I can plug this guy in over there, and then first on this, what I can do is I can take the overflow of this system to that. So rather than backing anything up with this sort of automation thing here, I just say, okay, we'll keep this thing full. That's its main priority, but if that's already full, then we're just going to run this back over here to the hydrogen generator and use it to, you know, generate power into the base. All right, yeah, this is what I was talking about. Look at all these germs. Ugh. However, germ-wise, they're really not making it out. So that's good. So then I can do this number here. Since it's an active pipe, it's kind of hard to empty those gas pipes. It's not even really worth it. Just a little bit of hydrogen. So there we go. So now this priority this is over here is 1. So this is going to flow in over here, but this one will flow over there if necessary. What I can do is get rid of this power battery down here and make another smart one next to it. And then I can take the automation signal to this smart battery and set it up on a tighter tolerance than this one, because this won't become active until it's below 20. I don't know if that's really worth it. Actually, I'm going to say it's not worth it. Okay, what I will say here is that we can run both of these generators to one power thing, and there we go. At least we use up some coal and some hydrogen as well. I guess this door doesn't even need to be there for Marie, but you know what? She's gonna get one anyhow. Okay, Rowan, you can go back over here because we've now built everything up for you. Speaking of which, what happened over here? Oh my gosh! Rowan, what'd you do? You let the Drecos out. And you flooded everything with polluted water. And you corrupted everything with slime lung. An alien morb has now made its way out. Crap. Alrighty, so there's a lot of stuff going on over there. Yeah, for cold biome, this one's pretty pathetic. It's cold at least. It's one thing. But there's another good source of water. You can usually find those below the neural vacillator right there sometimes. See, this one didn't have one, but the other one did, so that's another source of water for us. And as we've seen before, we got a little bit of polluted oxygen here. Some of these are always good to kind of make things a little bit better. We can throw Meep over here and see what his next buff is going to be. This isn't going to be good for anybody's stress. Ruby here is going to be real stressed out. Why are you stressed out? Oh, yeah, because you're splashing around in hot, dirty water. But we're trying to make our way to this wheezewort. Is this... No! No! Bad Dreco! Okay, we're going to make a drop-off here for the Dreco. We'll capture him. We'll bring him back. Oh. I think Meep's been well done. Hey, buddy. Meep has now required the regenerative trait. That's plus 20 health points per cycle right there. So not only is he the happiest dupe that we can, you know, take advantage of, he will also recover quite a bit faster. So, you know, if we happen to take advantage of his happiness and accidentally throw him inside of some lava, there's a good chance that he'd bounce back from that nice and quick. Unlike the rest of these duplicates, which would take a little bit longer. Okay, Drecos. Don't you dare. Dreco. And a Dreklet. Look at him. Where's the other one gone? There's been 2 of them. I know you're around here. There it is. See, look at how fast they go. They're just all over the place. Okay, so here's the first sign of something that's going wrong. You can see the temperature inside of here is getting a little bit too warm. It's 33 degrees Celsius. Luckily, we made it to the wheezewort here. So here's where we're going to install one of my favorite things, automation things inside of this game. So I'm going to get rid of this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a mechanized airlock down here. On top of that, I'm going to build one of these little planter pots. You just slap it down. Well, actually, it would be better off right here, actually. What I'm going to do is put a thermal sensor. I'm just going to put it right up there. And I'm going to use that to connect down to the door. Now, if we've researched it, we can use one of these filter doodads for the under advanced automation, which might be a good idea in the long run here. We don't have it just yet, so we can just do this number. Now, this is going to be active if we are above, let's say, 29 degrees. We got to figure out what the range here. You want to be between 5 and 35, and you want to be between 10 and 30. So really, we could just say this thing's going to be on if it's in between that and 20, right? However, that's going to send a green signal to the door, which would cause it to open. So what we want to say is below 20 degrees. So if the temperature in here is above 20, it's sending a red signal to the door, and we can keep that closed. The reason we're keeping that closed is because we're going to plant a wheezewort on top of this. And you can see I just kind of moved that over there, so just kind of... So under a nice high priority, we're going to select the wheezewort, level 8 or whatever, you know, so it's a dupe. Make sure we get that done. And the dupe's going to run on over there. He's going to grab that wheezewort, wherever it is, way over here. He's going to bring it back. Hey, hey, hey. What? How? You stupid Dreco? How did you possibly get stuck in the door? I gave you a home. You could just live here forever, happily. But no. You gotta make this difficult, don't you? By the way, you can rummage through these and you might actually find something good. Usually like a candy bar or something. Ooh, it's a cool vest. There you go, Rowan. Where you at, buddy? Bam. Now you got a cool vest. Turner, you're nearby. Grab your cool vest. Oh, I see. This Dreco wised up. He decided to move on before getting captured once again. Did you see that? Did you see that right there? That Dreco made a beeline for the door, like just trying to make it out of there. I'm telling you, they're escape artists. Yo, plant this wheezewort, people. I'm gonna have to wait another cycle. All right, anyhow, let's go ahead and throw down some equipment in here because we can. We're going to want to make this stuff out of probably gold amalgam because it has a little bit higher temperatures that it can, you know, handle. I'm just going to put the thermal regulator over there, maybe an aqua tuner right there, right there. Not 100% sure what all I'm going to run in here, so just make sure you're building it out of the correct stuff. Make sure it's gold amalgam. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. All right, so now that we've planted this wheezewort inside of here, here's what happens. It's sucking in gas from beneath it, somehow shooting it up above it. And in that process, it actually cools some of the gas that goes by it. So since the hottest spot we have is this door up here, and it's actually kind of radiating heat down here, this is actually working against it. So this little wheezewort inside of here is a way we can automate this farm so that it always maintains a nice temperature. It's not a real fast solution, but once we get down to a certain temperature, you can see that we'll flip to the other signal, the door opens, and then the wheezewort no longer has a farm plot that it's on, so it turns off. So it's a self-regulating thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Are you really stuck in this door? Alright, so let's talk about these cooling loops. It's going to come in from one direction. We're going to have oops, 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 oops. Hopefully not that many oopses all at once, but then you're going to have the pipe go down here, down, back, down, over. And that's where a lot of the, ignore everything I said. Your loops are going to go like this, down, that, down, that, down, and that. And we'll probably get rid of some of these airflow tiles in there, but what we will also have in the background is a temperature shift plate. That's a good thing to put actually at the bottom of this. And if you want to get some water in here, just build a temperature shift plate out of ice. Real good way of getting some water in an area. Building just about anything out of ice and letting it melt is a good way to get some water in there. Why did I build that there? No idea. Look at how well this is working. Slime lung is really not making its way back through here at all. I only have one dupe that is showing any signs of having too many germs. The rest of them, they're just dancing it off. Not even a big deal. Alrighty. Wow, I thought I was going to be a little bit further by now. I'm only on cycle 112. Okay. I do have the advanced automation done. That's cool. Let's go ahead and get some other things. We got the comfy bed we could potentially have. Oh, that would be good for morale. Let's do that. I didn't even think of that for a while. Yeah. Does my base just not use any power? Is that what's up? Let's see if I can get away with this. Usually if you put a bridge down, the bridge blows up before the wires. For whatever reason. It's a theory. It's not a fact. I don't know if that's true. It just kind of seems like it. I'm going to try to connect all this back together into one grid. See, I'm really not drawing that much power. I do have a lot of potential power that I could suck through the thing, but it's really not that bad. And here's the thing with this up here. I can use a gas valve over here. And then go in like this and out like that. And then I can actually just go back here and disable this. Because I'm only ever going to get hydrogen up here, hopefully. And it should just run down here to that. If I do get something different, I can always shut it off and do something different. But that way, I don't use the gas filter. So I save a little bit of power that way. How many Atmo suits do I have? 1, 2... I have currently 10 Atmo suits. I'm going to make some more snazzy suits. So you can see the temperature in here has come back down. You know, this wheezewort's doing its thing. Temperature up here is still a problem, so we can't lose focus on that. I was starting to lose a little focus because I thought I would have more than just one wheezewort over here, but nope. So now I gotta figure out which way can I dig to maybe get some more. Here we go. We'll see what's down there. I think I can get rid of one of these deodorizers and kind of dig upwards from here. I'd like to be able to kind of, I don't know, prepare myself to get up into this area. All right, what are you exposing over here, Rowan? What do we got? Hey, we completed some more research. That's good. Comfy beds. I don't think we can make... Yeah, we can't make that without plastic. Ooh, finally got ourselves a stone hatch. Why can't I find you in the list? Ha! Okay. Well, one of the hatches died over here, and the other one was like, it turned into meat. It didn't take but a second for this hatch to be like, some meat, and eat the corpse of its dead friend. See, I don't have enough gold amalgam. I need to dig some more of that up. I think one of the things I'm going to do, because it's taking a little while to get set up, is I'm going to take this wheezewort and I'm going to move it up here. That way it kind of keeps the area above here cool, and it should, in turn, this farm down here looks like it's going to stay cool for a little while because it's insulated and everything. Kind of curious to see what happens when you put this wheezewort on top of a door in this spot. I don't know. I'm going to put it there. See what happens. So the research has really drawn down the amount of water I have available to me. So I'm going to have to come over here, and I can plumb that. Let's see how ridiculous it is to actually plumb that all the way over there. It's a lot of pipes, but might be worth it. And then I should be able to do some sort of power thing. So rather than dupes running back and forth, they'll just kind of run that. I don't know. We'll see. There should be plenty of oxygen in there. I mean, we even have a morb down there that'll give off polluted oxygen, and since it's going to be turned into clean oxygen, it shouldn't be too bad. Slime lung wise, we'll see. That's a ton of pipes. Maybe I'd use my chlorine that I have to clean this polluted water up. Alright, so we dug over this way to the left. Nothing really to see over there. Yeah, these dupes are pretty quick at this point in the game. They're able to build this pipe super fast. Like, it's nearly built already. I mean, they can just carry and deliver so much because so many of them have gone through the courier training school. It's just works. Okay, kind of got distracted with other things. Let's do this number right here. Make sure we keep building that up. Take a look at the temperature over there. I don't know. We go in and out of that door a lot. That little wheezewort's having a hard time. I think I'll just move it over there. Although, is it keeping it? It is keeping that door kind of cool, which is kind of handy. You can see some dupes here are starting to get a little bit more stressed. Now that they've had to been dealing with this poor environment over here for as long as they have. But the pipe actually went in really quick. Great. Except for I put the bridges in backwards again. Every time I do this. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a spot where I could put some bleach stone. So some chlorine will be inside of here. I'll be able to pump this food poisoned water through a sieve and then into the liquid reservoirs over there. And then I can get it away. And then I can just get rid of this whole water lock thing. It was good while I had it for, you know, the reason I needed it, which was just a spot to put all this nasty polluted water that was coming off of those wash basins. But now I'd rather have nice, clean, purified water. So, and I've got a good source of water down there. It's not huge, but it is there. Is this thing completely built yet? It's waiting for me to give it the right direction. Got it. I'm also reworking ladders and stuff so that they make a little bit more sense. Okay, so here comes all of that water. You can see, I mean, it's just moving a lot of it. Now that's going to run a little while. Meep's got it taken care of. He's the right guy for the job. And I got some polluted water and stuff over here, so we'll just try to mop all this up. It is still snowing out there. Big style. There we go. Pretty much all my dupes are going to have snazzy suits now. Everybody but Travolta, that is. I'm going to try to sweep this up here as well. Get all that stuff out of there. A lot of things for my dupes to do at the moment. So now that I got this new automation thing here, I can use a filter gate and I can slap that right there. And that way you can see enter standby, system contains, you got to be active for a given amount of time before it actually changes. Because this thing could flip up and down based on the temperature around it, so we can kind of set that to a nice big time and You know, that way it just keeps the door from moving a whole lot. That might be just annoying to listen to. Besides that, there's really no reason to do it. Alright, we did dig further out to the left. We didn't. So, my jobs are kind of auto-prioritized, and nobody is currently a miner. Turner, you can give it a try. So if I store bleach stone inside here, this will be chlorine, and since the liquid inside the reservoir can interact with the air around it, that being... you dupes. We'll actually be able to clean the germs inside of the liquid if there are some there. It's also worth mentioning that we have a mountain of water right here. If we ever needed water desperately, we've got a ton of it. Just a ton of it right there. So much that it just scrolls off the screen many times over. So, you know, it's something to keep in mind. Right now I'm using it to produce oxygen. So, alright. So even though I didn't really get far enough to the point where I'm actually going to be able to get this cooling loop up and running, we did really set up the foundation for that. But we did also make it over to a cold biome, which is kind of what you want to do. You want to pick up a couple of these wheezeworts because they're really useful in, you know, different spots throughout your base. Also, want to say thank you to everybody that's been subscribing recently. It's been absolutely awesome. Thank you guys so much for your support. And also a big thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are doing, you guys are fantastic. I talk to you guys all the way over on the Discord channel all the time. Talking about the Discord channel, it's not launching just yet. We're still doing some setup things, and there's some other announcement stuff that needs to happen before that goes public. But there is a Discord server in the works for all of us here that we could kind of get over there and interact with as well. But that's coming together pretty good, so keep an eye out for that in the future here. The one thing I'm doing over here that's important is I'm going to take the overflow, and that's going to be just before the loop, because I want this to back up this far with polluted water. So the inlet can be here, the out is going to be like right there, or maybe that's going to be the overflow. However you want to plan it. There you go. And then the return line is going to go right through there like that. So this is overflow. That'll probably go down to a spot where you're going to refine it and then store the extra stuff. So rather than sending out clean water like we're doing here, it's actually going to be polluted water. So we're probably going to want to do either run that through a sieve before we send it off to some other place, but it's kind of a separate thing in my mind at this point. So I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to kind of go somewhere else with it rather than feeding this thing more water. I think that should be pretty well set by now. It's at 125 cycles of watering. I also have access to just a mountain of algae here. If we dig a little further, then I'll have some more. Look at how much we got here that we could still tap into. I have yet to make it all the way up here. Yeah. Oxygen's not going to be a problem, at least right now. See how we're doing water. Yeah, we pretty much moved all of it over there. Is it empty? Yeah, it's empty. So I can deconstruct liquid pipes here, there, if I really wanted to. I don't need all this stuff. I'd rather have its resources. I might leave this pipe because it might be useful at some point. Dealing with this cold biome, I might be able to, oh, I don't know, do some insulated stuff over here. I think one of the things we could potentially do over here is actually plastic manufacturing. Because plastic manufacturing gives off a lot of heat, but you know what? There's not a lot growing over here. It's just a big chunk of cold stuff. It'd be one thing if there's a lot of sleet wheat here and I could get a lot of food out of that, but there's just not. It's pretty boring. I think another thing that's probably a good idea, even though I got a lot of projects going on, but hey, isn't that par for the course for me? Is to just do this number. It's a massive ladder. But I want to go up here to get to the cool steam vent. I want to break into that environment. All right, let's see here. Let me see if I can prepare how I'm going to do this. What I want to do is I want to deal with this natural gas geyser. But what I really need to do is be able to pump that out of there. To safely do that, though, I'm going to need to make sure that it's not too hot up there. So I'm going to deconstruct some of this stuff. Try to build in whatever kind of safety I need to get through here. Triple door situation's pretty good way to go. Just jump up and over that. Do with the insulated tiles. Kind of dig that. I don't really want natural gas to get out of there, though, at this point. Natural gas is kind of heavy. And it can float down into some spots where it's really hard to get rid of. So what I'd like to have is a pump up and ready to take care of that gas before I go and, you know, mess around with it too much. So connected to this door here, I'm just going to put a little switch. And we can use this to create a vacuum between the two doors inside of here by closing it and then opening it. Because it'll destroy the gas there. And since there's no gas, there's no way for the thermal energy to go from this side to that side. And you can just run it with a switch. You don't have to do anything too fancy. Because you're really only going to go in there just to set this thing up. And then once you do that, it should be set. Unless you have a problem and then you need to fix it. No, you let the gas out. All right. Not too much got out. That's under some high pressure, so it could like flow. So you can see natural gas has already found its way down here just to settle and do its thing. A wolframite temperature shift plate down here is a good way to go. What that'll allow us to do is the water and stuff that's kind of down here and then the gas that's around here allow us to thermally transfer a lot of stuff between it. We have another opportunity here with a gas valve. If we so choose to do it, we can go ahead and take this and then just using a normal gas pipe to kind of run it to wherever we need it to go. And this is one spot where we're going to want to pump in a lot of hydrogen, because hydrogen gas has the best thermal conductivity of the gases we have available to us at this temperature range. Phosphorus gas is the only one that's superior to hydrogen, but that phosphorus gas is like really, really high in temperature. So phosphorus gas, well, it condenses at 280 degrees Celsius. It's way up there. But it's a 2.36 thermal conductivity, whereas thermal conductivity of hydrogen here is 1.68. Although it does have a lot higher specific heat capacity. So it's really good for this application where we're going to use it as kind of a heat sink between this radiant liquid pipe and the water that's inside of it and all of that stuff. So there we go. We can bring it in here. That'll pressurize everything as well. You can see all this natural gas that flowed down there, and it's already at, what, 1 kilogram of pressure. Yeah, like I was saying, natural gas will flow around. Luckily, it's not too close to the farm or something where it could cause issues. All right, so at this point, I'm just going to deconstruct the stuff I don't need, trying to keep the base nice and clean, looking good. And I think next time here, we're going to have to get this liquid loop up and running, and we will actually tap into the natural gas geyser. It takes a while to get this sort of major equipment all set up and running. Let me just show you what goes on here, though, because this is something I was explaining, but you never got to see it work. So if I turn that off real quick, the door will close, and then if I turn it back on, send Harold back up here. No! Way to ignore me. Or somebody else. Okay. We close the door, now we open it, and you see inside of here is nothing. There's not, it's just a complete vacuum. So the temperature over here can be like really, really hot. Temperature over there, not so much, and it'll work. Of course, every time we go through here, we expose this to a gas, and we got to flick it on and off again, but it's not a big deal. And what we're going to do here, I know, I'm trying to walk away from the game. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're just going to create a simple loop with a gas shutoff right there. So this is just going to go up and back down. And then we're going to put a gas thermal sensor right there. And we're going to use that to control the heat that comes off of this natural gas geyser, because it comes out at 150. And we're going to try to lower that down to below 125, which is what the maximum of this pump can take. It's not steel yet, so once we get steel, we don't have to worry about this, but we're definitely not at that point in the game yet. We're also going to just kind of clean this up a little bit so that it's all nice and closed in and looks good. But that'll have to happen here in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little episode here of Oxygen Not Included, and hopefully maybe you found it a little bit useful. If I've earned your subscription, then thank you so much for that. Once again, thank you to everybody that's been subscribing recently, and a big thanks to my Patreon supporters. Stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar.